Okay.
You got that energy?
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called though.
Yeah.
Shockingly wicked and something
No.
something vile.
No. Hi and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben and this is...
Okay, hi.
And today we are reviewing Netflix original, Sky original, also cinema original, extremely wicked, shockingly evil and vile.
Ooh, he got it.
I got it right! Okay, so this film has had quite a bit of hype around it. This is the first time we're seeing Zac Efron play Ted Bundy. Not that he's ever gonna play it again or has played in the past, but it's the first time we've seen Zac Efron play something really quite meaty. We've seen him play High School Musical films. We've seen him do comedies like Neighbours and Baywatch, which, you know,
Bad
both...
Neighbours. Was it Bad Neighbours?
Bad Neighbours, yeah.
Yeah, not Neighbours, the
Neighbours.
Australian. So
Neighbours. Not that one.
No.
Bad Neighbours, and we've seen him in this now. And I have to say, what drew me to this project was actually him, because when I've seen him in those roles, I know he's a great actor, but I haven't seen him what he could do with something really meaty.
Yeah.
And for all the fans of the Ted Bundy, that's a weird thing to say, the Ted Bundy universe, the people that are really into serial killers, I think this will take your serial killer switch, because there is a lot of, I wouldn't say new content, but they look at it from a different perspective. So this is a kind of chronologically the events from Liz, the girlfriend side of the storyline. At least that's what the synopsis kind of logline is for this. And I would say for the most part that is accurate, but also it really focuses on Ted Bundy and the kind of the whole court cases and what goes on. And so you get this kind of mash of Ted Bundy in court and what he does around that, and you get this mash of Liz and from her perspective of what it must have felt like, because she was that one person that thought that he was innocent. And I have to say, from the perspective of her, of what she was seeing and the events that she was shown, the police never really it seemed like the police never really actually had, beyond a shadow of a doubt, evidence to put him away, and yet every time he was put away, it was quite frustrating until the end. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's a spoiler, because most people know who Ted Bundy was. So, you know, but the film does really make you question. I mean, I was sitting there going, but he's innocent. Because all the evidence appeared to be circumstantial, and, you know, like the points that he was making in court, like, you know, either you look at the evidence and then try and find a suspect, or you have a suspect in mind and you make all the evidence fit the suspect. And it seemed like that's what they were doing. You can find out if you watch the film and see what you think.
So this is a non-spoiler review, although there will be things that we say in this review that will be towards the storyline, but most of the facts about Ted Bundy in various documentaries or films of like the recreation of what happened have been known. What I thought was most striking about this film, for me, was Zac Efron's performance as Ted Bundy. Now, watching the film, I thought his performance was great, and then there were these scenes where the camera was really close up in their faces. Ooh, and they kind of have this between Liz and himself, Ted Bundy and Liz, and they're chatting to each other. I won't say what because it's a fantastic scene, but the acting performances really came to fruition in that moment, and I thought, wow, they are both fantastic actors.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until the end credits, until they show you some actual footage of what Ted Bundy looked like, of the words they used, the mannerisms on his face, just how light-hearted he was about his whole kind of circumstance, and that he was kind of blasé almost in moments, and then just laughing at the court. And so the recreation from like footage that we have, because some of it was filmed in court, to what Zac Efron, he must have studied those tapes and looked at everything there was about him, because he really took on that character, which is an ugly character to take on, but must be so juicy for an actor to really kind of just go to town with.
Yeah, I mean, we watched it last night and then we went to bed and I had very disturbed dreams all about Ted Bundy, and it was It wasn't a pleasant night, I have to say. I got up in the middle of the night because I needed the loo, and I was actually genuinely quite scared. It's like, oh. It had a creepiness that kind of came at you after the fact, I thought.
Yeah.
And I also appreciated that they didn't they didn't recreate the crimes. They didn't necessarily go into lots and lots of detail about the crimes. Which again sort of makes you wonder. It leaves you, I don't know if this was the intention of the film, but it leaves you feeling like, did they get their man or not? The whole way through the film.
Yeah, the whole way through the film, you're genuinely making you feel like, wait, is he the guy? Is there another Ted Bundy?
Like, was Ted Bundy maybe not Ted Bundy? You know
and
what
yet,
I mean?
I think that really kind of lends itself to what a kind of charismatic guy he was. He was a really likable person. He was really smart, so he was studying law, so he knew his way around how to manipulate a situation, especially people. And then by the end, they kind of show you what was behind the scenes, what you didn't know was going on. And there's kind of this almost a big reveal, but there's still stuff left unanswered. It kind of leaves you to answer a few questions. If you are interested, there are loads of documentaries and films that will tell you in detail. I'm really glad that they didn't show what happened, because we've had that before, and that wasn't this film. It's not a film where you get to see what happens, because that's nasty. They do describe it, and I have to say that in the court cases, I thought the recreation of that was really good. There's one particular actor, John Malkovich, who, if you know John Malkovich, he's a fantastic actor, but as the what's his position?
He's a judge.
Yeah, he's like the grand judge or something. Anyway.
No, he was just a judge.
Okay, he's a judge. Grand Judge Malkovich.
Yeah. That's now his title, forever.
Grand Judge Malkovich. If you watch the footage of what they caught and what he did, again, Malkovich has taken on that role as realistic as possible as he could. Yeah. But Malkovich does bring a presence to screen.
He does.
So when you have Zac Efron talking to Malkovich and playing their respective characters, it's quite riveting to watch.
Yeah.
But like Kirsten said, not until the end of the film. I didn't feel like it was a scary film, but it was only towards the end that you really start getting this creepiness. And I think that again plays to Zac Efron's kind of ability, because the whole way through the film you're like, oh, he's just a really nice guy.
Yeah.
I'd be friends with him. No.
No.
At the end of the film you're like, wow, okay, that is actually quite creepy, and it does linger in your brain.
It really does.
I don't want to say too much more about that, except that I thought quite amazingly the cinematography in this was quite good, even though that mostly it's just courtroom shots in in their house shots. There isn't many scenes that are outside, a couple, but I thought it looked really good. They were brave. Yeah. There were some really interesting cuts. So apart from the acting being great and I think the story as a whole, how they've cut it and interlaced it with kind of footage towards the end and the beginning, they made it feel like it was a bit documentary, that you're watching some of the recreations or you're in that moment. I thought that it looked really good, and they were quite brave with what they did. I think as a subject matter it's quite hard to watch, but as a film
it's really easy to watch.
It's very easy to watch. It's I would say this is quite good as a, I'm not sure they're Oscar worthy, and I think people throw that around quite easily. Like, is it Oscar worthy? I think it's just really well acted. Good. He may well get nominated for it, and there may be Liz may get nominated, but I think if you're just wanting to go in and watch something about Ted Bundy and maybe have it a slightly different perspective because it's from the Liz side, I think you will enjoy this, although even adding the word enjoy to that is weird.
Seems wrong.
You will really respect what they've done with this subject matter.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give this an A because I think it's that good. What would you give it?
Yeah, no, I'd give it an A as well, because I was not sure how I was going to feel about this film. And again, enjoyed is the wrong word to use. I was riveted. I was absolutely riveted the whole way through. So, that's an A for me.
Yeah. And thank you to Sky Originals for giving us this screener. I'm glad I didn't have to go all the way to London to watch the screener. I could watch it at home, which is great. But I think this is going to be quite a, I don't know, divisive, but quite a film that it's talked about a lot. So do chat to us in the comments and let us know what you thought about it. Are you excited about going to see this, to see what they do with it? How, are you a fan of the all the stories about Ted Bundy? Let us know in the comments below. But most of all, until next time, remember,
Live long and Tuesday.